Welcome everyone to obviously the last Linux live stream for 2021. Year-end conclusion. Yes, our release is a tiny little bit some weeks overdue, but it is probably fair to say one of the most amazing releases ever, not because we support the PS3 or the SG-Octane, but also Super H. Yeah, last night accidentally, famous midnight code work here. Fixing Super H and IBM S390X mainframe support. And if you look at this year's in numbers, commits, right, 3,862 or so commits in 2021, if I subversion stated that correctly. And of course, some of which are data. And even this release, right, automation is king. Even just since the 21.7 release here, according to my stats just generated, of course, continuing the trend, automation, and yeah, automating our own jobs away. Data, our lovely AI bot, 1120 commits by itself here day and night, of course, scanning the internet for updates, and again, more commits than myself and other new contributors, which is certainly totally amazing. Obviously, this simple parsing here is not bug-free, obviously. Let's also copy that. So now comes theoretically the fun of writing the release notes, right? I said this before. Darn, this is also really stupid. If you paste this once and then redo then. I mean, first of all, who would want to paste terminal text with ASCII art? macOS, what should I say? Anyway, yeah, certainly if we just think about the last weeks, we majorly further improved our GCC bootstrapping cross-compilation, so that is now even more feature complete. Well, it was amazing and it was working, but now it's even more feature complete. We fixed uslibc, we fixed Musel, we fixed Super H, super crazy multi-lib setup. Previous videos, right? Wasted previous week nearly all my non-existing free time, 12 plus hours on multi-lib stuff on 32-bit default for Spark, 64 and PowerPC, and Super H. One of the craziest super multi-lib setups I've ever seen. Basically, Super H never cleanly bootstrapped for us. I've no idea what the GCC developers, or maybe not them, but certainly the Super H. Where is the Super H here? You might see this, oh yeah, you only see a tiny little bit. Basically, this. I just if-dev all this crazy multi-lib config away and then it freaking works, right? 15 years in the making. It is even crazier, right? So there is like no kidding 7 lines of M4, not M4. It's like I have no idea what they try to achieve there. Maybe supporting all Super H variants with 1 toolchain, but seriously. Also, we configure this Super H with also in the Sega Dreamcast. If you're wondering what crazy is Hitachi Super H, Sega Dreamcast and other lots of Hitachi, Renesas, both. Anyway, Dreamcast. And unfortunately also obsolete. Although there is an open source implementation, as things like JCore or something open source if you're interested in that stuff. That is even only the tip of the iceberg, right? We fixed long-standing power user usability. We learned from Apple, right? We don't call stuff issues or stuff. Of course, this is only power user parallel build config marginalities in newspeak. Basically issues, if not call it bugs, in some areas of T2, some corners of areas of T2, like config, like running multiple configs and cross-compiling, and all this. As senior on this channel, right, lots of stuff, 1 hour there, and multi-lib like 14 hours there. And at the end of the year, you wonder what you have done in nearly 4,000 commits. And in any case, the the release is a little bit delayed, and I said yesterday, of course we release it. It makes no sense to release it now. We could release it now, but it makes zero sense. Who is interested in that release today, especially the news sites. We have already issues, as this also bugs me a little bit, right? For 20 years I tried to get into the news, and we had some success with the German Linux magazine, but major news outlets, even Heise and Golem, ignore us, which makes me really sad, as not only German, European, and even with Golem in Berlin. And I've even written articles for Golem, right? And we made one tiny appearance in a Heise publishing house, IX, maybe 10 or 12, 14 years, like basically that's more on one page, which is better than nothing. But yeah, certainly makes zero sense to bury that release in New Year after spending a year and 4,000, nearly 4,000 revisions. So the latest updates, so basically this is also surrounding overhead stuff. So also here's still a typo. This is also, maybe we want to write change sets, and obviously that is a typo too. Oops, hello, where it is. Oh, why is here? Oh, this terminal copy and pasted with spaces. You can't make this stuff up. Anyway, thanks for nothing, macOS. Some stuff is of course here. This is of course, so this is only since, this is not the whole of the year, this is only since 21.7, and yeah, isn't it crazy? It's already 6 months then, soon since the last point release. Speaking of which, probably earlier I was thinking maybe target like every quarter or 3 times a year, but given as much time as I spent, although probably next year we will do more microkernel other stuff, leave in the comments below, but it also makes probably no sense, except auto building, to release more often, because there are there are only so many GCC and Clang releases, and certainly makes not the most sense to overload the news sites with releases. So maybe 2 major releases, maybe some auto build things, auto build also to catch regressions faster. Also, I'm not a fan of how bloody macOS stuff pasted this with spaces. So, and you see from this massive amount, right, only over half of the changes are since the last release. So I think what did I say, 3,800, right? Crazy amount of changes. And in retrospect, I said I wanted to do data, the update bot, for already 10 years, and I should have done it a decade ago, right? Similar to I should have started YouTube a decade ago. 2,152 change sets with 2,000 approximately 100 packages got updated, 178. Yeah, this fixed is not really issues fixed, because although could you not, yeah, I mean, probably, yeah, each time we call something fixed in the changelog, maybe. Obviously, it's not in GitHub issue open for each of those, but yeah. Also, yeah, this is macOS famous praise usability and stuff with spaces and breaks, and yeah, let's maybe save this already. T2 22.1, yay. If we look, the crazy thing is also, if you wanted to point out stuff, so for the news sites, we also have still one crazy, we still have the MIPS. Yeah, we fixed IBM mainframes, we fixed Super H, but we still have bloody MIPS 64, a little bit older kernel for the SGOctane 2 coffee build. In major things, so this means for new sites, IBM S390X, Super H4. Also, probably we should mention, this is also the thing with new sites right now. We need to spend even more time formulating that. I think I had the changelog. Also, I had it somewhere else, like here. Also, the data is running right now, so we might get some last minute updates. Oh, we still have that open from yesterday. Where is our 7? Was changelog here. So this is the whole year, which, whole year. And so even if we wanted to just go over this stuff, I mean, yeah, we probably could, yeah, certainly don't point out ISBN, but so this is some KDE update, whatever is the latest. It's like Dolphin or whatever would be 2112. What is even, that is my problem with KDE. I have totally lost overview what they use now for. Did they not use some 5 something? Anyway, so the latest KDE, and as much as I would kinda be done with package updates, probably I need next to train some real neural network to actually really general purpose scrape new packages and stuff off the internet, because I really need to write some more serious stuff like a microkernel. There's certainly some stuff left with KDE and GNOME. KDE and GNOME. Actually, other stuff. So I think we could call it like full-featured GCC Canadian. The problem is most new sites will not even know what that means. Maybe most users and developers do not know. Maybe. GCC cross compiled with like lib sanitizer and friends. Then also I think since the last release, no, I think the last release had already Rust, but this release adds additionally Canadian cross-bootstrapped Rust, C and Cargo. That is new, and that certainly already sounds way more interesting than who cares about IBM mainframes and Super H in a Dreamcast, right? So for everyone tuning in, we have some people tuning in, which is amazing. Happy New Year. Also, I have a typo in the headline. Let's quickly change that before that triggers someone. Of course, 2022, man. Time is flying. Welcome, everyone. LVM 13, I have no idea where they are. I previously, decades ago, not sure if I'm getting too old, I have too much to do, fix too much, or it's a worldwide crisis. Yes, 13, yes, indeed. Why did 13 release candidate? Oh, they wanted 13. They wanted to have that done already, but it isn't, I guess. They also interesting. Not that we would really need that. Why did this script of ours not catch that? Oh no, it is 13. Not. Yeah, so probably. We should mention that, so that would be latest LVM Clang 13 and GCC 11.2. In binutils, obviously nobody cares really. And we could mention stuff like Mesa. Actually, you know what, we probably could add that. Where would be, I have here some, of course, shell scripts to prepare some stuff. Oops, create, change summary. What was, I fixed there some typo which was around. Maybe we, oh, here is around. Why did this not scroll there? LVM, do we have here? So we probably want to add there Mesa. What else? Rust probably nowadays. Mesa, Rust, C. Oops. For the next stuff to auto. Rust C and changelog. That would be Rust C. What is 56. There is a newer version that didn't, I mean, we could theoretically see, but some of the latest version didn't bootstrap for me. Oh yeah, paste and match style, right? Recurring macOS joke. Rust C. So the problem with this kind of stuff is that this is not the latest version, so I'm not sure if I should apply some manual editing here or because obviously it would have been nice. So 12. Okay, we had 12. Did I? Maybe I did I manually edit that? Maybe I did. 11.1 and Mesa. Maybe Mesa in Firefox as well, or is that all in? Is that all in the latest release? Looks like that. So that would be 21.2 maybe, if we got that right. And what did I say? I said Rust. Rust we did. Did I say something else? Firefox I wanted. So that would be, so yeah, quite some massive updates, right? And as I said yesterday, right, just preparing proper PR, press release stuff easily in the afternoon. That is just the reality, and even then it's of course even more sad when people don't pick it up. GCC, so maybe somewhere like here. Also, we probably want to mention more mainstream stuff, so pro tip, sort mainstream stuff first, and then maybe we don't need really 4 there. Basically, very theoretically, yeah, these are quite some commits. So probably the crazy thing is it kind of sort of doesn't make the most sense. Yeah, 100%. Thank you very much. Where's the liar? 11,000 freaking, is it lines? Changelog lines, looks like lines. Yeah, 10,000 lines. So this is why I grabbed this, right? Automation is king. You don't want to manually scroll that. GNOME shells, so that would be probably GNOME something of this sort. KDE, should we even, yeah. What is even their latest official spelling? Is it all caps or what is it nowadays? Not to trigger people. There is a version recurring theme, the most important. Yeah, I'm each time. I mean, not that our website would be amazing, but I'm always surprised that these multi-million-dollar projects from Reddit and stuff are not, do not have an. I would expect this to, yes, all caps. I think somehow this normal users would not necessarily expect to know what GNOME is, so I would expect here some more headline information. Especially if your browser is a little bit smaller, right? Then, yeah. Anyway, maybe we should make our website first better before we talk about others. Does anyone else feel like the last 2 years did even happen? Well, we were busy on YouTube, right? I wanted, maybe I should have, or did I sometimes, made a title like YouTuber uses log time or worldwide pandemic. The problem is now my video probably gets demonetized and I need to appeal for remonetization. But actually wanted to manage like YouTuber uses that time to create Linux distribution wide, which is of course not entirely correct. We had this already for 18 years. For me it is special anyway, because not only am I busy with my company and this YouTube channel and my Linux distribution, but also our first one, little one, Junior, was born, so we are twice as busy. So for us, we are just like, our battery level is 0 or probably minus 100. Didn't sleep one night through since 18, soon 19 months. Which makes, and like we had like zero help, especially as our parents do not live with us, which is also why we're not been in Berlin the last weeks, because we finally wanted a little bit help. But even then, like the December where mother-in-law was helping a little bit, it's like, yeah, how much help is it? 2 hours a day rolling with a walking with a baby outside is, yeah, you still have the rest of the day and night. So yeah, that is special, but otherwise, yeah, use this time. Don't waste your life any day, month, or year. Maybe pro tip for 2022. Yeah, don't. Even I need to spend less time on social media. If you follow me on Twitter and Instagram, sometimes I post there and stuff. The problem is nowadays, the last year, I often had time like sitting with Junior, and then like it's obviously like a drug, right? You can't concentrate. You can't even work. You have seen this at some minutes on live on this channel. You basically get nothing done, right? You can totally not work. At least our one grabs everything, keyboards he likes the most. So like, yeah, good luck trying to work with any kind of keyboard-based device. It's like, yeah, you have some assistant tapping everything in between. And with this fragile Apple keyboard, I would actually be afraid of this overpriced M1 Max thing that the keys break off sooner than later, and then you have an overly expensive repair, obviously. But yeah, don't waste any time, not with social media or this. Lockdowns do amazing stuff there at home or somewhere outside is certainly my recurring tip here. And we will do this increasingly in 2022, no matter what the year brings to us. I only hope not a nuclear fallout or alien invasion, but otherwise, or a zombie apocalypse. But yeah, we will do our microkernel, right? It will take years. And we obviously will continue our funny little Linux distribution now that it is in even more amazing shapes than ever. And I don't have illusions, right? So this will continue to take a significant time of me, despite data and new contributors and having this in amazing shape. But upstream updates will always break something, even if it either because they don't care about non-mainstream architectures or because they don't test as much and add new features that break stuff like Pipewire and such. Which, fun fact, I still haven't switched to that because it didn't even work for me the last time I tried it. Dr. Schubert does amazing stuff like Quake 3 on an Itanium with 0.2 frames. That sounds about amazing. Yeah, congratulations to that. We are still looking for an Itanium. So theoretically, what the problem is finding, so basically this is remembering it might have been easier to go over our increasing video collection, which are of course mostly on that channel, and that would be content here, live streams there. So it probably is easier. Also, yeah, I wish they are here per page 50. Yeah, that is something for daily live streamers. Apple M1. Oh, yeah, nearly. This is why I have your own YouTube vlog dictionary. Otherwise, I forget all this stuff. I still probably have to sort this a little bit, but basically Apple M1 ARM64 and M1 bootloader support. This is like initial. And what else do we have here? QEMU, macOS. All right, and should we mention, or yeah, maybe we don't mention Homebrew yet. Grub, right, so theoretically that, and certainly less interesting is migrating Spark 64 ISOs to Grub 2. It's like, yeah, there you have all this stuff that you already forgot, right? Videos over live streams over. Yeah, we probably need to continue our security debriefing. Another year, maybe I should make a dedicated video about New Year resolutions. Another one will be more regular, like less random, more regular and planned and scheduled live streams and videos. But as I said, as I probably mentioned in the other video in Coffee Overload, 18 months with a newborn in a pandemic, your battery and brain simply do not function for more than random live streams. Let's hope we somehow can manage that better in 2022. So unmatched. This is also right. What else do we have here? By the way, not sure. Is it even? Where is even the date on? There's the date October. So yeah. So basically, the live streams are certainly. Here's also an X32. Should we mention that specifically? Yes, so the problem is 6 months of this intense development are hard to summarize in one snappy and nicely. Here, for example, we could mention state-of-the-art uses, but I mean, does someone really care? I mean, we obviously do, but do news sites probably not really care about open source FPGA toolchain, right? We also updated KiCad or KiCad, or however I want to pronounce that already. The latest major release, not really too much tested. But yeah, 2022, maybe we should actually do a PCB, right, on our Linux workstation. KDE stuff, okay, OpenSSL we reverted, that didn't build for some stuff. Yeah, so we fixed P3 stuff, right? So this is all this release. I mean, the crazy thing is we improved some P3 stuff, yet other stuff isn't really ready. Which is certainly why you want to share, like, and subscribe, and Patreon, and sponsorship, and GoFundMe, and all the good stuff. Okay, this should be the latest. Do we not have glibc in there? Yeah, quite some. Why is this glibc not in there? That is somewhat bizarre. Probably we want to add that there, not sure, but yeah, that's also part of this video, is need to improve. So really grab in. Actually, that is funny going. Anyway, here's libc. Why does libc not glibc? This one is at the end. Wait a second, this doesn't. Wait a second, doesn't work like that. That is why. But libc is, we basically, this is not really catching UC. Okay, actually UC it would catch, but let's better explicitly, otherwise we grab there with libc musl. And Linux and stuff, so grab. The problem is it doesn't even do it justice that we also debugged this rather complex X2 APIX stuff that prevented power states. Oops. This is also not, theoretically we would need like something of that sort. And then we had, did we have glibc? I think we had that musl, probably something. Oh, that is, yeah, so right, because we want update. And that is why, I mean, even in the best case, you have this fully, okay, no musl update viewer, even if you have this fully automated, it's still all the surrounding stuff. That's not even in the email. which we still would need to put this in email. This is not even final formatting. This is just collecting all this stuff and unfortunately copy and pasting this from the secure shell. Tmux has this filled with all white spaces. So welcome everyone. What else do we have there? How will microprogram videos work? Live stream the code part. No, I will not live stream all the code part. That is too boring. I have some bigger ambitions. Certainly aware that I'm overdoing this with this random live streams. So this will be more. I will work on this stuff because this will take hours, right? I have no illusions there. This will be highly time consuming. So this will be more like a video, like a properly distilled video, like 30 minutes interrupt handling or 30 minutes, like basically I will work something in my free time or in the company, business hours or stuff, like ARM low-level booting or MIPS, basically starting this repository, starting some infrastructure, and then trying. The problem is I don't really have time, so the ideal thing would be to have some animations, like, or at least graphics and potentially animations with interrupts and stuff, or at least certainly graphics. The problem is, and this is also why I had the Microsoft Surface 4, right? So theoretically having some graphic digitizer capable thing, but now it has Phantom Touch since 5 years already. Because I certainly don't want to spend like 4 hours on graphics, right? That is a problem. But certainly for beginners and stuff, some illustrations, sync textbooks and computer science classes would be welcome. So certainly. But yeah, I think some distilled down video per topic, 15 to 30 minutes or so once a week of one thing, low-level booting. Maybe it will at times not be even microkernel specific. Maybe this will be explaining, similar to the 8-bit guy on the C64, explaining booting on a PC or explaining booting on an SGI Octane or stuff. And I think like 15 to 30 minutes is way more usable, like basically presenting one step at a week or something, or maybe even 2 weeks, because obviously this stuff is so time consuming and low level and complex and stuff. It will probably be not in chronological order, because obviously I want to have some fun. So it will also be some week or month, some new 3D low-level code on maybe NVIDIA Riva or ATI Mach or Rage or something from back in the day, just to have some fun, like we had with Virgin Voodoo, and documenting this. Because obviously we would want to have hardware acceleration, hardware accelerated GPU stuff. So from relatively early, like somehow by design, and not like later Wayland or Xorg and stuff. So. And so, will anyone be able to contribute? Yeah, sure. Everyone will be able to contribute, of course. I'm just not, so there will also be some philosophical videos. Theoretically, we also have really urgently to talk about the state of open source. And because for me, this open source stuff is, we didn't have the most success. It obviously in relation of how much time and effort I put into T2 or surrounding stuff, or even open sourcing our own stuff like Exact Image, much not as full featured, but amazing and faster than ImageMagick, C++ image processing tool there. And we need to have some discussion also as a community as a whole, right? Being like Log4j, I'm not saying that Log4j is amazing and that it should exist, but people do it as a hobby, and then the whole business world is running on it, right? And this is, so I wanted to do that for some months already, or for nearly a year. My best friend in Berlin unfortunately doesn't want to be on a video. I actually discussed it a little bit with like walking with my best friend in Berlin with our toddler there in a green park in Berlin this summer, and saying, hey, by the way, this open source stuff and so on, and would you want to sit here like on a podcast kind of thing? I kind of like, yeah, no, thank you very much. not like want to be too much on YouTube. So yeah, there goes that. Maybe I need to have some Skype calls with other open source people or stuff when my closest circle doesn't want to be too much on YouTube. But somehow we need, as you see here, we have the ambition here to also advance the state of things, not only in kernel, but also in society and open source and stuff. And we somehow, there needs to be a better concept. I'm actually, after 20 years, I'm not even sure anymore what was the greater goal of the Free Software Foundation stuff, but not to talk about everything already. But so it's a huge topic. Basically, I mean, the coolest thing would probably be like a discussion, like keynote format. And I said multiple times already, would be cool to have some other people contributing, whether in person or video call and stuff. And because I'm seriously interested. I mean, certainly other people work at Amazon and Google, and I mean, if you get a 6-digit salary at Google and do partial, or Microsoft and do partial open source work, or at AMD, like the AMD developers, like I would want to implement previous video, right? RDNA 2, I'm the only one in the person running RDNA 2 on a RISC-V board, and AMD doesn't even freaking find ways to sponsor me. It was like, I only asked for like 2 days of my work for like maybe $2,000 or something, which is even a steal. And AMD, the people I contact, like, and then I only got like negative comments from some AMD, or like critical and like, yeah, like paying me to have fun with my hardware and stuff. Like, seriously, I mean, this is also why I didn't finish that, right? Why should I finish? Like, why should I spend another 2 days of my life enabling RDNA 2 AMD GPUs on RISC-V past my proof of concept patch, like making this patch upstreamable instead of a gross hack? Why should I invest like 20 hours of my own? Additionally, I spent 1 weekend on it already, right? Why should I, after 1 weekend, spend another 2 days writing the code proper so that it can go upstream kernel when I never get something for that, right? And when you contact AMD, so RISC-V, Sci-5, they responded nothing. You would think like a multi-million-dollar startup with future computing ambitions, they would have some $1,000 to spare. And yeah, that is crazy, right? So, and then like on the Phoronix forum, some AMD Linux developers like, yeah, never heard about you. You did ask on the mailing list and stuff. And like, yeah, but what should I ask, right? It's not like open source developers ask on mailing list, hey, does someone want to sponsor 2 days of my work for this patch or stuff? And unlike I ask, hey, does someone from AMD wants to develop this? But it's also not the point, right? I can do work on that, and it's like, that is not the goal of financing individual open source programmers to ask on mailing lists if AMD, like AMD paid developers at AMD would want to implement this. I mean, then all those worldwide independent people and community and stuff, so this simply doesn't work, right? So there's some bigger discussions for that, and that certainly deserve another video. And this is the problem with the microkernel, right? So if I'm not saying I will write the most amazing microkernel, there certainly is L4 and Fuchsia or Future or whatever crazy pronunciations they want. But given that it could be an amazing thing, or especially in the beginning, eventually for embedded or embedded firmware, right? And then imagine you do something amazing, like, yeah, some other popular kernel stuff, and then everyone is using that, right? Obviously after some years, like maybe in 5 years or 10 years, like Linux then, maybe potentially. And like you never get something back, right? If we release this on the terms of the BSD license or GPL, and this is the big thing, right? This is I only get to that because you ask contributing and stuff. And this is why I'm totally unsure what license that should use. I'm not satisfied with either BSD, or certainly not BSD, and GPL I'm also not the most satisfied. And somehow we need to renew that open source. Now some governments want to fund some stuff, like the OpenSSL Heartbleed or what that was, had to happen, and governments and Linux Foundation stepped up to found that OpenSSL. I think this was Heartbleed, right? Heartbleed bug was, yeah. This was already freaking 9 freaking years ago. Oh my freaking god, how freaking fast. I didn't even YouTube back in that day, man. Yeah, time flies. So yeah, this is only single licensing wise. So No, I mean, I think MIT is also, you can do whatever you want. So the problem with those open source licenses is we need, in my opinion, but this is also, and then all open source people will hate you if you use a license of, like you can't sell products based on this unless you give something back, right? That would, in my opinion, be a fair thing. It can't be that renowned computer scientists create all, or hobbyists or whoever students create all the amazing open source software and they never get something back for that, right? And Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Apple, Facebook and Meta and stuff rack up all the profits. This is totally crazy, and this is the only thing, right? That so in my opinion there was some fair licensing, but anyway, not to take all those topics already. But that is a thing, and I also, even if I would use, like, it's open source, but if you use this commercially, you should somehow give something back. License, certainly there are some licenses that nobody uses, but the thing is then the community will hate you, nobody will use that, and everyone will scream, but it's not free software and not the GPL and BSD and stuff. So that is a big thing. And yeah, and that is a crazy thing, right? Why YouTube creators are more popular and successful and richer, like Linus Tech Tips or stuff, or other big YouTubers. And yeah, and they get more support, right? They, if we do kernel stuff on AMD GPU on RISC-V, AMD and RISC-V like, yeah, YOLO, whatever, and to Linus Tech Tips, they send review samples for free, right? And that is a crazy world. And I'm totally aware, obviously they get more views and stuff, but yeah, marketing has money to send hardware around, to donate, give hardware around, but for open source developers, yeah, YOLO, whatever, we can't even pay you 2 days. Crazy stuff. Anyway, we digress. So yeah, if we do some, licensing, I have no idea. I'm totally aware that if we do some free to use at home open source license, but commercial products need some kind of fair licensing thing, this will certainly greatly harm and hinder its distribution. The question is, do we want and need that? Because anyway, what would be our benefit of that? And you also see on this channel, right? So there's a concept of why not finance your open source stuff with YouTube videos or other, with books, documentations. I mean, nobody buys books anymore anyway, right? At least mostly not. And even with Patreon, GoFundMe, sure, we have tiny little bit drops, but even with our tiny little Patreon and GoFundMe and GitHub sponsorship, as amazing as it is that we have some at all, you can't feed a family, let alone, I could neither feed myself nor even pay the rent with the patronage so far. And that is somehow not how the open source world should be, in my opinion. And we need to discuss this, obviously. Yeah, now we digressed quite a bit. But leave in the comments below if you already, by the way, did we add all of those things to Metamucil, Linux, VM Clang, Rust and stuff? If you have any ideas, leave in the comments below. And we actually, how long do we live stream? Probably 45 minutes. So what else would we want? So I mean, the problem is most stuff we don't really need. I mean, we could theoretically, if we would, yeah, libdrm, nobody's really interested, right? We could probably list Wine. Is that a thing that people are interested in for their Linux gaming? Oh, it's quite some Wine updates, so. 6.9. So Super H, mentioned that. And then S390, yeah, installer. I mean, most of the stuff we don't really need to mention. Yeah, KiCad actually. Should we? I mean, it makes not really. I mean, we could theoretically include that. Uses. I mean, maybe some hacker news or something just publishes something then just based on that. Can always be lucky. Oops, this is also not copy and pasted because here. Not really sure if that is any helpful stuff. Yeah, theoretically we had some Git checkouts there before. So tons of other new packages and updates. As you see, most of them are of course nice and security related, but nothing you would necessarily shout out in a news release. This is basically the major stuff. Even scrolling over here from like a meter distance, it's like, yeah. So somehow I still didn't quite get how this Android multitasking, how I sometimes, because then I always yeah, updates over updates, the most updates and more updates, which obviously all of which are amazing. All right, also LibreOffice, maybe we should actually list LibreOffice for those using that on their workstation. So the crazy thing is that is, yeah, 86. I mean, even scrolling over the sheer amount of 11,000 lines is of course a crazy thing. Theoretically, we might want to list OpenSSL and what did I just say? There was something. What was I thinking? Xorg? Maybe Xorg actually. Xorg server or something. Yeah, that's also quite some updates to 14. Actually, are this all since this looks so many? Actually, maybe this was a hotfix release, obviously, once there was something. 14 we said, right? Did I add Ox? Maybe we add Xorg server, so the other stuff is, or maybe, yeah, the thing is, who really cares, right? If we could list all the Wayland and stuff, but yeah, or Vulkan. But leave in the comments below what do you find important to mention. But this is also basically what happened in the open source sphere, right? Darktable, XFCE stuff, Pango, GTK, obviously recurring releasements, GIMP, set standard, improved performance, and Xorg server, usually mostly security or nearly. Not only, I think there was also other stuff, but yeah. Half-bus, all the many text graphic libraries. Should we mention? Yeah, even MP3 stuff that nobody knows what it does, all the KDE stuff, all the data actually. So yeah, I guess it's the most important stuff. Otherwise, actually, we could have their boot though, but yeah, I think all the other stuff is way too minor. We could actually, yeah, 10 minutes, maybe we do something useful instead of just talking. Yeah, we did. I mean, and actually we did plenty of cleanups, like really many, and there's plenty of common and package metadata cleanups, like removing old stuff, refactoring and stuff. We could actually check. We had the issue that some, was it Microblaze and others, UClipc2, LVM2 didn't build. micro or OpenRisk, or maybe Microblaze was Microblaze. Did this also not work? Actually, did OpenRisk use clibc? So for some architectures, it's also the crazy thing. Why do they need symbol versioning in like lib in LVM2? It's also beyond my understanding. Also, yeah, also it's even built. I'm pretty sure some of what this builds. How does this? Wait a second. How does this build? Do we have special? Or does symbol versioning work with uclibc on? Is this a pure architecture thing? uclibc LV2. What do we do there? LVM2 off. No, we only fix that. Actually, theoretically we should also check if we need most of this uclibc stuff these days. That is crazy. I'm pretty sure something didn't build Microblaze, and actually we could ship. I should simply check the logs of size 0 when I touch that. Yeah. Wait a second. Why does it say ELF platform? Is it not? Is this Microblaze stuff, or is this building uclibc? No, I'm confused. Microblaze. This is running glibc and not ELF. What word? This is. I have this hard to believe to be. This must be ELF. It's impossible that it's not ELF. Or maybe this message is wrong. Maybe they test this. Maybe they just. I have the feeling this message might be wrong. Microblaze LVM2, of course. Capital, because of course. Why should they name this sanely? And yeah. Wait a second. It's only the question is libdm state 5102. What? Here's DM export simple. Yeah, why not write standard conform C library stuff if you can? I wonder if that can be disabled. Only available compatible with GCC. The entire compiler should be enclosed in GNU Zimber. Macros only used to export the pairs. If defined has attribute. Not really the biggest fan of stuff like that. So let's see, can we like pre-process it? Attribute Zimber, so that's what's, maybe should this be DM Zim It has GNU Zimware though. Why does it? What is something is not adding up there the most, I would say. Shared Zimware check. Check if version built when default versions was present also. Version symbols. Don't we love all this? Totally amazing, right? Yeah, C glorified assembler, portable assembler, macro pre-processing front end, no, amazing stuff. Even data struct bit set. So basically we should so this is Zimware. What did they check for that? Which did I? The mlib, disk. Zimware. So okay, it has. You know, what does it do otherwise? News. What does it do here? If the and I mean, we can try if we. I mean, this must come from glibc, or maybe they misuse that, and that just means that GNU glibc does do some simple versioning, not necessarily that. But anyway, this R11, anyway, this message is certainly. We probably should. Zimware is only supported. I mean, it's a little bit crazy. We could try if we simply disable that and see what happens. If like 0 and is that this? Okay, let's see what happens then. Missed version symbols in yeah. Read some version check. No kidding, we just patched that away. I wonder if we can, but they're all Zimware. It is not defined. What a mess. Victor asks, what do you think about process computation sharing among computers? What exactly do you mean with that? Like this CC or? I mean, we probably could patch this check away and hope for the best, obviously. Or we probably... probably should be fine for like non-ABI upgrade compatible Linux distributions. Victor asks, processor as a service. Well, it depends always for what, right? I mean, basically, these are like root servers or virtualized servers now, or what precisely do you mean? It's always difficult to answer if I don't precisely understand what you mean. Yeah, we patched it away. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. At least, I mean, not that you would necessarily. This is, yeah. For now, we could name this hotfix Zimware, well, hotfix, no Zimware, patch microblaze, but I've seen this for others, so maybe even AVR32, so that would be that. So that's the tiny little time-consuming stuff. I know we are over the 1 hour mark. The tiny little stuff that keeps us busy and the release is slipping. Did we build most? I'm not sure if we probably built most of the other stuff. So yeah, we had for AVR32 a similar thing. Where did I stop that? LVM2. Did I once upon a time even pipe fail? What the heck? Set illegal option pipe fail? Nah. Once upon a time I downdated the version for, maybe I didn't commit that, for LVM, for AVR32. Oh no, here's LVM2 though. 2, or did I... What do we have here? Yeah, 288. Why does this... this might be another. This might be as simple as... So this, I downloaded that because this was like the last version before Zimware or something. I think this is simply we are running a dash. Maybe my previous workstation was an old 32 release with bin sh equals bash. So LVM to AVR32. I wonder if, yeah, I mean, totally not important, but we could try actually bin sh. This is somewhere in. Actually, does even our LVM2 package have that fix for bash patch? Yeah. I have the feeling this will not simply apply. But we had an older version. Theoretically, I could copy the older version of that. I remember. Basically that one here. Thankfully we're not using Git, and copying an old revision is as simple as copy revision that of already exists. Did I not? Yeah. Oh darn. That is why. Shit. Oops. That is why this didn't revert what I wanted. As simple as this, and then messing it up. Let's see if that applies. BitTorrent protocol for the computation sharing across network. Yeah, so the problem is this is highly inefficient, right? I mean, this even works, right? Old version. Oh, there's done that. So the problem is even on a gigabit or 10 gig network that is already significantly slower than local memory and stuff. Even HPC stuff is already with high-speed interconnects obviously less efficient. So basically, I mean, sure, you can do NASA-like AI and whatnot, supercomputer, nuclear explosion, detonation, simulation stuff, so the usual HPC workloads with such wider connected computational nodes. But of course, you want stuff in your caches. You want as much in your L1 cache, as much in your L2 cache, as much in your L3 cache, and local memory. And so you don't, like general purpose computing, like your text editor or Crysis, you don't want latencies of such kind of communications over a wider area network. And it depends. It can work for some stuff like folding at home on a P3 and stuff, but otherwise, yeah. Comet architecture AVR, but leave in the comments below what you think. As usual, we are really also this adds patch apparently something's there. And then I think the nearly only thing left is somehow quirking the MIP64 Linux kernel to build with some newer GCC or whatever was failing there yesterday, and fixed AVR32 LVM2 for non-bash bin LSH for bin SH something of. That's what we could, however, theoretically also DHP of there. Thank you very much. Why is always something failing? AVR32 was not building once upon a time. We could check deleting what we've just done. I think this was symbol versioning too. So we could check if we can reuse this microblaze patch there. So job 1 LVM 2, I think. Victor is definitely not a good idea. Well, it always depends, right? If you have like NASA, like a segmentation fault. Oh, that was the issue, right? Now I remember. Oops. Yeah, that was a thing. It wasn't simple version per se. Let's see if SVNCP. Let's. I didn't commit this yet. Hotfix simple versioning. Let's try if this magically fixes AVR32. So yeah, if you have some large-scale supercomputers, that might be useful. Otherwise, if like for your local Crysis, you want low latency, right? If your computational stuff is highly scalable without requiring, did this even freaking work? There you have that. That's what we would have suspected. So also yeah, 2020. Although it's 2021. decade-old AVR32 linker crashes with symbol version, no surprise here. Basically, let's move hotfix also SVN reverts this micro place, and then that's the last commit for this live stream, and maybe for this here micro place. Move hotfix Zimver to hotfix Zimver diff and patch file conditional apply, that's similar to something of that sort, so that would be here's patch file is not dynamic. We have crazy enough, we have something like that already, so wouldn't have to grab though. But so if arch equals micro place or arch equals, actually once is usually alphabetically sorted. I mean, we could use case here. Basically, if we add a third one, then we could convert it to some switch statement here, arch microblaze, and add that in confdir. Or actually, better name this Zimver diff. Did we add this already? No, because it's not really hotfix. It's like diff, and with just like that, AVR gets the latest and greatest. LVM2 also, yeah, for all microkernel stuff, we have, of course, to do all the storage stuff. So some LVM, logical volume management storage layer. Will be interesting to see. Maybe we should microblaze. Maybe we should try to do it somehow so generic that it's like an integral design thing, so that even partition, like unlike Linux, where that is a special thing, maybe it should be a primary storage layer and mapping, like one-to-one linear mapping partitions to logical volumes or something, to always use the same code parser stuff, like modern stuff you could do if you wanted. So that would be architecture AVR32 package and package for system LVM2. And just like that, what is the status of the thing? So does it look probably, oops. So patch files there. No, Zimver div there. Fixed LVM2 for no Zimver on microblaze and refactor AVR32 to use same patch and latest version. Oh, darn. But nothing. Yeah, this is only. Why did it even say that though? So that's it for this year-end live stream. I wish you a happy, healthy, and successful 2022. Great things to come, hopefully, for all of us. And thanks for watching, sharing, liking, and subscribing. And the most amazing stuff, of course, as usual, would be Patreon support, GitHub sponsorship, GoFundMe, or what else? OnlyFans, right? Just like that. Happy New Year then. I guess some parts of the world, right? They already, probably Australia, New Zealand, probably. Did they already? What time do we have? Probably soon? Probably, yeah. Some parts of the world are there already. Otherwise, yeah, stay healthy and awesome, and see you next time in 2022.